All right, so here we are with Bums Talk Bass, episode 3, straight from Drone Central HQ, New Jersey.
I still have yet to see one, honestly.
I've seen...
Danielle's seen like 3 or 4. I haven't seen a single one yet. Some airplanes.
I've seen over 100.
Really?
Yeah. I could just go outside and look in the sky, and they're just there.
So, I'm safe. You're not.
Yeah, no, I'm like super screwed.
Right, but how does
I'm
this
like 20?
The smallmouth population?
I live like right next to the turnpike, and they're like going up and down the turnpike.
Nice. I feel like they like kind of started up near here, but
yeah, that's where it started.
They've kind of died down.
Kind of.
You think they have easy pass? They're going up and down the turnpike that much?
They're racking up the bills, that's for sure. Every time I go to the Bay, it's like what, $20 in turnpike?
I don't even know.
It's just the easy pass slide.
I wonder if it'll go down if I
take it all. Take it all out of my account. It's all gone.
If I just remove an axle from my trailer whenever I go down to the Bay, how much money will I save?
I actually went to AC this weekend, and my buddy somehow, some way in December of 2024 didn't have an easy pass.
Dude, that's crazy.
And
I don't know how you can get around.
Pay cash for all the tolls, and it made me realize what's actually got. And I was like, "What?" Like we were paying like $2 like every fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it was insane.
It racks up so fast. So you go over a bridge into like what? When we go over the Tappan Zee to go to Candlewood, it's like $10. It's a crazy.
Forget about going over the GW.
Oh my god, too much. Zub doesn't have those out in Pennsylvania.
No, we have more.
We have expensive gas.
We have like
I was gonna say you definitely don't have more.
We have more expensive gas. We have.
How much is your
That's
gas?
about it. I paid $3.30 today.
Ooh. Filled up for like $2.70.
Oh, look at all the nice things. That
mine is in the middle of that. I'm like hovering right around $3.
Yeah, we have some cheap ones around here. Where our new house is at, there's like the 3 or 2 cheapest like stations in like the 20-mile radius.
So my area is always more expensive than by you.
Yeah,
I like going to. There's a no, that's not why. There's a stretch up by like Edison where it gets cheap again, but like in my immediate vicinity, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, makes filling up the Skeeter a little tough there.
Yeah, well, still not getting filled up yet, so.
True. Yeah, he has a very.
We still got a couple more months.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do with I still don't have a prop shaft, so.
That'll do it. Can't run the motor. Can't burn gas if you don't have a prop shaft.
Yeah, yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Saves a lot of money.
You know, it all saves a lot of money.
What?
Not Bassmaster.
No, they do. They do.
They're saving money.
The organization is.
The organization? Why are they saving money now?
Because they're not paying anybody anything.
But they contributed an extra $200,000. They said
they're paying people a little more now.
Yeah, with a $10,000 contribution.
Well, what was the original contribution?
0.
No, like before that. What was an entry fee for an elite event?
I think in the end it came out to like 35.
I thought it was closer to 4 because they were saying like what, it was 40,000 or something like that.
Well, it was 3,500. It was 3,500 an event.
Right.
Okay.
And there's 9 events, so it's actually even less than that. But
I
kind of swore one of them was like
around a little over 30, I'd say, right after all the 500s add up.
Yeah, it's like 30 something.
That's a good discount. I'd take that deal.
Yeah, but they're still not even close to what it was. It's better than the 0 entry fee thing, but the 50th place check is half of what it was last year.
Right, but the 50th place check is still $5,000.
Yeah, but last year it was $10,000. It doesn't.
Well,
I wish they'd mark up the
sometimes the math comes out where it's like some people make less, some people make more. It's very, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to run it for a year and see see how it pans out, see what sponsors give them, see what they actually end up netting this year and compare for the majority.
I should have got a special guest on this one.
Yeah.
Should have got a special guest to rant about that.
Let's try to get him next week.
Yeah. We can add him in.
Yeah, for real. We probably should. But yeah, I don't know, dude. It's until everybody is not paying entry fees and like making like a semi-reasonable salary, I might as well block off this pro in the pro fishing because it doesn't exist.
True.
Oh, no, it exists. The pro doesn't mean professional. The pro means promotional. You are a promotional fisherman.
Ah, there it is. There it is.
Clever.
So, yeah, with that, I say I'm trying to get this off because there's no free ads. There's no free ads. Block that out. Block this whole thing out. This is.
So do we think this new, what is it? What are they calling it here? The Bassmaster Elite Angler Board of Professionals, the ABP.
Well, I know this is another topic that we're probably going to touch on, and I don't want to jump into it, but it probably hurts the integrity that one of the members is now a felon. So
the deep state took down Ben Milliken, and I'll stand by that. First they got Luigi, then they got Ben.
Oh man,
yeah, I'm telling you, there's good things going on in the fishing world, and the higher ups, they don't want it to happen.
I'm not talking about Luigi on a public podcast.
We can't.
I will not disclose my opinions on that matter.
You're talking about Mario then.
3 episodes. That's all we made it.
Yeah, I will not disclose my opinions on that matter whatsoever.
Before we get into that, I just want to celebrate the fact that 3 episodes in 3 weeks.
Stop.
That's a good turnout rate.
Stop. Don't give like 100 episode speech on number 3. don't do that. Don't do that.
We did. At least we started.
At least we started. I'm very excited in the back now. I'll be working on it later for the Ice Hut series. I'm very excited for the Ice Hut series.
We should pod from the hut.
That's the whole thing. We're gonna pod from the hut.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pod from the hut.
We're definitely good. I already have two TOBY weekends scheduled, so
perfect.
Well,
what
are those?
I'll let you know when it is.
We'll let you know. I mean, come on, guys. 3 guys, 2 holes, 1 hut. Gonna be a great old time. Anyway.
First weekend of January and last weekend of January, I will be there. In the vicinity.
You could be there now, you know.
But is there safe ice right now?
Yeah.
I will send you a picture of Mr. Zubris on safe ice at an undisclosed location fishing on like Sunday, yesterday.
No, I'm not worried about it being safe. I just in a strange coincidence, I have 2 different trips, one being a birthday party and one being a ski trip that are planned at Cabins of the Poconos, and I'm going to go to both just to ice fish. So,
all right, have fun skiing, guys.
Yeah.
Walking out the little rods.
But
yeah, no, Benny Milliken getting cuffed up by the live scope police. What's your take on that,
Al? So here's from like looking into this very preliminary, here's what I've gathered, and correct me if I'm wrong. His license had expired. He was fishing. He caught a share lunker. He reported the share lunker. And then they found out he didn't have his fishing license. And that's pretty much it, right?
So I didn't know he had it. It was expired. I just know that they said he didn't have one.
He didn't have a valid license, so AKA expired. So what happened was I heard that at the time when he went through all the share lunker paperwork that
He wrote he had one, right? Is what they're trying to
no.
say.
Well, they said he wrote he had one, but no, at the time, no, he said that he didn't have that. Well, he found out he didn't, and he got a ticket at the time and paid his fine at the time.
Okay.
And now is when they're coming at them, not with the fishing without a license charges, but they're coming at him with the cheating in a tournament charges because of the raffles involved with the share lunker. I think you could win a Toyota truck if you have the biggest share lunker of the year, or something along those lines. You could fact check that, Jimmy. But
yeah, they're calling it fraudulent tournament or whatever.
That's why.
Terms.
So here's, I don't know if these details are known or not, but these are the details I would like to know. How long had it been expired for?
I heard this happened in February. Well, no. Oh, when?
Well, this is what it.
When did his license expire? Like, and did he have a license previous to that? Like, did he not have a license for like a whole year, or did it expire like 2 days before it happened?
Yeah,
because I think that's a very big difference.
Very true. Accidental, slipped the mind, forgot to renew it 1 day later, or was it just completely?
I think almost every single fisherman in the world would be lying if they said they've never forgot about it for a day or at least a couple hours. Like
when you're fishing with like us, we have like 6 or 7 different states. You're licensed. Some run calendar year, some run annually from when you bought it.
That's the other thing I want to know. Is Texas an annual or is it a calendar?
Texas is a calendar, not a calendar, an annual. So it resets when you buy your license.
So that means he hadn't had it for at least a month.
I would guess that's correct.
If it happened in February.
Right.
So is the
it's not by the calendar year.
Thought it was a calendar and it was actually
I think it was that maybe he thought he bought it in maybe March or something. I don't know. Maybe he must have bought it earlier.
Because if it's an annual, and I mean, especially that time of year, we all know that guy's making a lot of, like, he probably went fishing like 25 plus times without a license.
Without it, yeah, just not the greatest.
Which is an interesting discussion because I just thought of this while we were talking about it, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who it was. But wasn't there somebody on the Elite Series who wasn't able to fish the Sabine River tournament because
he didn't have a license in Texas?
The license was banned in Texas because he was fishing without a license. So why was this guy's license suspended and Milliken's isn't? And does that mean that's going to happen to Milliken? Because guess what? The Bassmaster Classic is in Texas.
Oh, true. I guess
there's a guy on the bubble right now, like he goes out. That's another guy going into the Classic right there. Does
anybody remember who that was?
That's John Kelly.
It was John Kelly?
Yeah. John Kelly's bubble boy right now.
No.
Bubble boy.
He didn't have the license.
Oh, no. I don't think it was a license, but I think for some reason.
Pretty sure it was.
No, it goes, the Sabine is on the border there. And you have to have a Texas and a Louisiana license. And the one person could only fish one side of the Sabine.
Was it Josh Strassner?
No, for some reason.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the thing there. You can only fish one side due to your licensing.
I mean, didn't the guy?
No, I think the season might have been closed on the one side.
Didn't the guy retire over it?
I think so, because he couldn't fish because I think it was like Texas is reciprocal with like other states that honor the same thing, so he couldn't fish 2 out of the 9 tournaments of the year, and was like, well, what's the point?
Hang on, I just looked it up. I'm reading it now. Josh Strassner will not be fishing this week's Elite at the Sabine River because he is unable to secure the required Texas fishing license.
I'm all for a fishing license that is valid in all 50 states. You pay one big chunk, and then you're done for a lifetime.
Yeah, and you just want to give the federal government more money, you narc.
Hang on. Last year, I received a ticket for no fishing license. And by the state's law, that automatically makes you lose your license for 1 year in that state.
So if it was February to February this year, then
yeah, but
he's been fishing Texas all year long.
Toledo Bend,
yeah,
on the Elite Series.
He just posted a video at Toledo Bend,
and he lives a couple
days ago,
and is still actively fishing in Texas. So why did that happen to Streisner and not Milliken?
Was it because it was self-report? Maybe he self-reported himself, and that is different than getting caught.
Sounds like he very much got caught.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see and find out what.
It's also like federal and state law, not tournament law. So self-reporting doesn't mean anything.
No,
it's not a tournament where like you get a lesser penalty for self-reporting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I go up to someone and I shoot them and I say, "Oh, I shot them," it's like, you know,
it's a little steep.
It doesn't lessen the penalty.
No,
maybe a little.
Maybe brownie points with the jury, but this isn't a trial case.
I mean,
it's going to be. I think it's going to be now.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot
of details we're going to see.
A lot to unpack here because I don't honestly have a particular issue with like the Milliken. Like, oops, I forgot the like whatever.
Like Milliken has so much.
But what I don't understand and what is bothering me is now that I thought of this Josh Streisner thing, because this guy literally like had to end his fishing career over this, and somehow Milliken is just fine. Like I need to figure out the details of that.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if Milliken's just fine because Milliken's about to be in the same amount of hot water.
Yeah, but
he seems very unfazed on his reports and his videos that he like has posted.
He has a mugshot.
He's smiling. It's fine.
He just put up a bunch of pictures of T-shirts with his mugshot on it.
Right, but he's trying to get a mugshot. Like, I don't know.
He dropped a T-shirt that said "Drop the scope, not the soap."
You gotta make money. You gotta pay those lawyer fees somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was just on Ray Roberts the other day, pre-practicing for the Classic. So he's still.
He doesn't seem concerned. I don't know.
I guess he has a license.
It says it's one big misunderstanding. So maybe he had a license and the system glitched. Who knows?
I don't even know why you need a fishing license.
Why you probably don't even buy trout stamps, huh, Zub?
Well, how fishing licenses are so stupid. Like, how am I supposed to drive a fish? Like, that's a crazy thing. Like,
one of those guys, huh?
You can cut that out. You can get rid of that.
That was.
I don't know. Have you seen that one video? That one little TikTok. There's a guy hooking up fish to straps, and he's like trying to drive them around. It's fun.
That sounds like abuse.
You didn't see that one?
It certainly was abuse. It made me kind of upset. You know,
11
barramundi, the Australian fish,
right?
He put like little saddles around them, and then put them in these tubes, and then put the tube on the back of the boat. So he had an engine.
Just steers them around.
He had an engine powered. His boat was powered by barramundi.
You should have that clip played now.
I'll find it. I'll put it in.
We need to have that clip. I've not seen that.
I'll put it in.
And this is by far the wackest thing I've ever done or seen anyone do. Minutes, reaching a whopping max speed of 2 kilometers an hour.
But
the Amish do it.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. I didn't love it.
And that's why we need fishing licenses.
Yeah. I mean, do you need a license to do this? That can't possibly be legal.
I don't know.
I mean, he's not harvesting them, right? I mean,
how did he acquire the
barramundi?
How did he acquire them? Like, do you need
he bought them? They came in like tanks in the video.
Okay.
Tank, yeah.
I don't know.
How does one barramundi translate to horsepower?
This is absolute garbage time in podcast world. Like, this is just
this is terrible.
terrible. This is terrible content.
This is terrible stuff.
Well, how about Milliken and then the new advisory board? Is it going to make it worse now that he's on there? do we need him off?
I think the concept and genesis of a advisory board or angler union or whatever they want to do is something that like needed to be done like 20 years ago.
I really thought it was a thing for the longest time, and when they announced it, I was like, "How was this not around before?"
No,
Well,
dude,
I'm
they
pretty
just make
sure
you
there's a
sign a
pro
contract
anglers-
and they say you can't say anything bad about anything.
Yeah.
But there's some type of a union now, but I think it's just for health insurance purposes.
Yeah, they did something for health insurance.
Well, you know, they used to make enough money that they would just sign the contract and shut up. But now that Bassmaster's like, oh, now you have to sign the contract and shut up, and we're not going to give you any money either. Now they're like, okay, let's do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the makeup of the board? The people that were on it? Did you guys like that? Who was?
Well, it
Yeah.
was
got
Milliken,
Milliken.
obviously. It was John Cruz.
Livesey,
It was
Wetherell.
Drew Benton.
Yeah, Drew Benton, John Cruz, Alex Wetherell, and Mark Menendez.
And you got everybody from
pretty-
every little aspect.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty all over the place.
You got like
Guys
the
that are
young guy,
full-time
Wetherell.
guys, industry
Some of the-
leaders, younger guys, veterans.
I'll
But
say
Yeah,
one. I'll say one thing. I mean, I like the concept of them having it versus not having it, but also like this isn't like a population of a country that you need a Congress for. Like, there's 100 guys. Like, why can't everybody just vote on everything?
Yeah, you would think like it's just
Like,
a majority rule.
I don't understand why you
not-
have to make like a committee for this. Like, it's
there
only
were-
100 guys. It's not like it's 1,000,000 guys. Just
There was
put,
also
like,
something
Yeah.
else they were talking about. They were doing along with this board, the advisory board. There was the it's like the marketing thing that they were doing. I forget the term that they were calling, but they're like helping the anglers with marketing. And Davey Height was gonna kind of lead it, where they're doing the advisory board. They're doing this like marketing help to help the guys all individually like market
David Knight,
themselves.
social media marketing expert.
Yeah. I believe
Well,
he was.
you could take it back to this. When was bass
Or at least-
fishing honestly in its peak?
2007.
Yeah, 2007, pre-financial crisis. But George Bush
Yeah.
destroyed bass fishing, even though he liked it. It's his fault. Anyway, you can bleep that out too. Whatever. Besides the point. But what's the big thing? What was thriving in 2008? Not Bassmaster.
Walmart and
FLW
the
was
National Guard.
Yeah.
Walmart, National Guard. There were so many every Walmart brand was on an angler. There was so much non-endemic flow going into the industry at that time. And granted, the housing crisis and the patch pirates kind of just, rerouted that, and they realized that they didn't need to do that. But I don't know. I feel like having, and even MLF was on the right track with General Tire and giving people base sponsors right out the gun.
Absolutely.
Backed by the platform. And I think that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to go as far as blaming them, but I do kind of think like a lot of the endemic sponsors just like make a lot of money off of this and don't kick anything back. And I
like what sponsors do you think make a lot of money off of
like
it? without
every
anything
fishing
What other bridge are we going to burn now?
all of them,
back?
like every single one.
like
Like
you think Walmart makes a lot off of?
no.
like-
In
No,
the-
endemic. In the
Oh,
industry.
endemic. Oh, I thought you were saying non-endemic. Okay.
No. I think that bass fishing is generating more revenue than it ever has in the past. Companies are selling more product than they ever have in the past. and somehow we're going through a sponsorship payout financial crisis. And I understand a lot of that is, they're switching stuff to social media and YouTube guys and this kind of stuff. But I think it's a lot more than that. I mean, I think it's a reflection of stuff that's happening all over the country. But I think it really is just like these companies kind of are just like, well, I don't need to pay these guys anymore, so I just won't.
Yeah. I feel like our consumption of fishing media has spread it so widely out. Like when you think back at like the Walmart Ever Start series, and they had like a 45-minute recap of the tournament that you could watch on like your Sundays. And that's where you saw all the branding, all the sponsorship. And it wasn't really anything else that you saw unless you like went to the tournament. Yeah, like you ingested that one 45-minute video, and now it's like, okay, I have 8 hours a day, 4 days of row of live. I have YouTube videos of all the individual fishermen. I have all the other podcasters. I have everyone going and interviewing the guys.
Well, there's also a couple things I don't buy, right? Like I get the concept of, the professional anglers aren't the only people to sponsor anymore. They could sponsor media people, this, that, and the other. But then my question is who? What YouTuber or podcaster or social media guy, which one of them is sponsored by Strike King? Because I don't know any of them. Which one of them are sponsored by Zoom? I can't name one of them. Like, who are these people? Like, you got the biggest markets on YouTube are like the Guggen Squad, who are sponsored by themselves. They started their own company. Milliken, who's sponsored by 6 Cents, who he's a shareholder in. So who are these big pro fishing companies sponsoring that the money is spread out so thin? Because I don't know any of them. They're not taking that money and giving it somewhere else. They're just not spending it anymore.
There's like, at the higher levels, I mean, you see that they do a lot of stuff with their media. They follow their opens guys and people at that level. But, I can't think of anybody really that on the YouTube level besides maybe Tyler Anderson. And that's the only name that could possibly come to mind in the Strike King YouTube world. But after that, it's just really putting the money into the pros. Yeah, come on. You know who Tyler Reels Fishing is? You ever heard of that kid? Nice kid.
Yeah, Tyler.
Real nice kid. He actually fished college with us.
He was in college when we were.
Yeah, I think he was in. He might have been in Oklahoma.
Yeah, jeez.
I don't know, but anyway,
I started blasting.
I get from like a corporate financial capitalism side of things that this isn't how it works, and that like if a company doesn't need to give you money, then they won't. But and I think that's a big problem with the fishing world, is that it's becoming more and more corporate and more run by entities outside of fishing, because I feel like it used to be like they probably never really had to sponsor a whole bunch of professional fishermen, but they did it because they give back to the guys who they've had relationships with. It's what keeps the machine going. They do it because there was a,
they enjoyed the sport.
Genuinely interested in the sport and keeping things going and helping guys. And I don't think that that's there anymore. And you could agree or disagree whether you think this, but I do think that they owe it to the guys to kick more money into this than they do.
Otherwise, without professionals, it's just like the weekend tournaments. I mean, there's no.
I mean,
what sport?
And I've talked to you guys about this before, and it really is the truth. If pro fishing wasn't a thing, because like obviously, and I mean, it probably won't ever happen, and it's just a pipe dream. But like, what keeps me going is the thought of like, I want to be a Bassmaster Elite Series guy. I want to go to the Bassmaster Classic, this, that, and the other. If all of that went away, I wouldn't be doing it. Yeah. I would not be doing this. I would not be spending the money I spend. Like, I would still fish and stuff, obviously, but I wouldn't have a big, $70,000 bass boat with all these electronics and all these rods and buy all these baits and fish these tournaments. I wouldn't fish tournaments at all.
Yeah. I'd fish like a little club tournament, like on, a little $20 buy-in.
Maybe. I would get an old tracker.
Yep.
I would just fish every now and then on the weekends because I like going fishing. But I would not do what I do right now if pro fishing wasn't a thing. And I don't think it's like it's not like the NFL. It's not too big to fail. If it keeps going this way, it is a logical conclusion that pro fishing might not exist in a few years.
Yeah. Zoo, you're quiet over there.
No, I mean, it's a very tough thing because, I mean, if you think about it, you think, oh, how many lures? I mean, Alex is a unique case because I think about it from this way. If the drones invaded Arkansas tomorrow, we'll say, and Bassmaster, not Arkansas, Alabama, wherever, Bassmaster's gone. No more Bassmaster. Berkeley isn't hurting. All the major organizations really aren't hurting.
I think
there's still so many. There's still so many.
I think they are.
How many people? If you go into, say, a Dick's Sporting Goods, right?
Yeah.
And you ask 9 out of 10 people in that Dick's Sporting Goods to name a professional fisherman that isn't Kevin Van Dam or Ben Milliken or someone that isn't of the YouTube thing. If you name someone that's solely a professional fisherman, I guarantee they couldn't do it. I guarantee they couldn't do it. And I can guarantee that they can name every YouTuber, though.
Okay, and I can guarantee you I spend more on baits in a year than all 10 of them combined.
It's fair. That's a fair point.
They're not losing their whole market, but they're losing their biggest customers. The largest spenders, the biggest customers, the return customers, the guys who buy your product over and over and over again, year after year after year after year, and don't spare the expense and buy 4, 5, 6, 7 bags when they go to the store. They don't buy one. Those guys are the guys who fish a lot of tournaments. Those guys are the guys who fish BFLs. Those guys are the guys who fish Bassmaster Opens. Those guys are tournament bass fishermen.
Right, but are there
that is not a lot of thing. If that's not a thing, you're not losing it all. Of course not. But you're losing a measurable amount.
I feel like if you don't, especially now with the, where you can see the pros more, like you could consume all the media on it. Like if fishing disappeared today, the pros disappeared today, where there's still guys. Like if you ask the guys in Swimming River, like the old guys, to name a bunch of pros, they couldn't do it. They don't really follow it as much anymore. I mean, they probably used to, but they're not following it as much now.
They can't tell you all 100, but they know the big guys.
Yeah, they know some of them, but if those guys phased out, are the younger kids are coming up. They're the ones that have this dream of being a pro now. I feel like, and if they fizzle out, there's no pros. I feel like a lot of the clubs would kind of disappear.
Well, no, imagine if the pros just made YouTube and of just them going fishing. Do you think they'd still know?
I wouldn't watch it as much though. It's not as fun to watch.
You're telling me, what do you watch more? Do you watch more Bassmaster Live or do you watch more, say, gosh, Polnick puts out a good video. Do you watch more Polnick videos?
Bassmaster Live by far.
Bassmaster Live.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I'm different on that. I like watching live when it's happening, but I like watching a lot of individual. I watch a lot of individual YouTube.
You know what I watch when I go on YouTube? I watch tactical bassing.
Oh gosh, Matt Allen saved my life.
And I watch. There's this other guy I've been watching lately, the Fishing Geek. And I like guys who
explain what they're doing,
break stuff down, and talk. There's a few other that I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to keep them close to the chest. I should promote their channel.
Wow.
No
free ride.
I actually, this is one I do want to say because shout out this guy. I think he's super cool. I like Mikey Balls.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He does good work.
But I like those type of videos. I'm not watching Milliken catch a catfish out of a spillway. Like, I'm not watching any Guggen Squad videos. Like, if I'm watching YouTube videos from like a specific YouTuber, it's those type of videos, or it's like actual tournament videos. Like, I will watch the tournament videos, but honestly, I like a Scott Martin tournament video better than a Polinick, because a Polinick is just like a cool. I mean, it's cool to watch.
It's like a montage of,
but you don't really know what's going on in the day.
You don't learn as much.
It's just like a cool edit. Like, I want to see what's going on. I want to learn from it. I want to know. I want to look at what he's sitting on, what he's throwing at, what kind of baits he's using, how he's looking at his live scope. Like, I want to understand the day. If it's just a edit of him catching fish, yeah, it looks cool, but I could not care less.
I agree. I like his videos because it's cool, but I learn much more from like a Scott Martin video versus a Paul.
Yeah,
I like both, but
like
Scott's more of a learning.
I'll watch a
Paul Nick's more of like a nighttime. I'm sitting there, I'm eating my Oreo cookies and like want some entertainment.
Yeah, I'll watch a Polinick video if it comes up, but like an Elite Series, like a Scott Martin tournament recap or a Milliken tournament recap, I watch them religiously. Like, the second they come out, I watch every single one. Like Milliken, this in the year 2024, I watched every single Elite Series video he put out. Non-Elite Series videos, I don't think I've watched one.
I've maybe seen a handful of like watching him with scope, but like only the ones where like he shares his screen so I could like see what he's actually looking at to try to figure out what he's doing. But besides that, yeah, it's all the Elite Series footage and basically any tournament footage, even like local videos. If I go watch a guy fishing the, lacrosse, if I could watch him fishing a tournament out of lacrosse, then I'm going to watch that versus just Joe Schmo going and smashing them on the bank.
Like, I know I'm kind of a unusual cat in the terms of like I really only care about the tournament side of things. Like, and I know that that's not how everybody is. Like I said, I would still fish even if it didn't exist, but I would fish maybe 25% of the amount I fish now if it weren't for tournaments. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I fish like 150 plus days a year. I'd probably fish 50 at most. Probably less if there weren't tournaments.
Just on the weekends. I wouldn't be taking a week off to go fishing.
No, absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
You just wonder how many.
Where's all the money
really on?
You say that, but then you pull up to a BFL or something, and you're like, "Where did all these guys come from?"
BFLs. I don't know the Southern culture. I'm pretty sure it's still strong down south. But the Northeast BFLs, the tournament director has to call everybody that's ever signed up for a BFL ever to try and get people to come out.
Well, I think that's partially just more from the payouts of the BFL and the travel involved for us.
You're right. It's like the culture, because there's no promise. There's no promise of return, and that's shown up at all levels of the sport now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gosh, you remember how college that was back when we had conferences and it was smaller. It was thriving. Well, now you have smaller fields, but everybody has a 250 horsepower boat. It's I hate to say it, it's hard. It's hard for the working guy to go fishing anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you're absolutely, I hate to say it, we're all freaking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
This is the worst financial decision you can make from any point. And Brennan, you're practically an actuary and you do it. And you still admit that.
I'm not an actuary, but yeah.
No, you deal with numbers a lot. You deal with the finances and things. It's not smart.
Oh,
and people are starting to, when the dream really, isn't there, people are realizing that around here at least.
Yeah. Well, I always wonder with some of these guys that do it, and I'm like, how are you affording a $100,000 to $120,000 rig between boat and truck and still showing up to some of these things?
I would have so much money if I didn't fish.
Yeah.
I'd have so much money.
But would you be happy?
No.
There it is.
But is Alex happy now? His boat's in decommission. He's a wreck. He can't even turn the.
Oh, come on! Look at that smiling face. He's happy.
But that's the thing. That's what fishing has done to me. I'm never happy. I'm happy for like 10 minutes 4 or 5 times a year, and that's it.
And you're seeking that one.
That's all the happiness I get.
You might be needing to seek a therapist.
I've been told that many times. We were talking about.
You were told that by a co-angler.
Yeah, we were talking about co-anglers last week. I had a co-angler at the St. Lawrence River about 4 hours into our day, out of nowhere, unprovoked, go, have you ever considered seeing a sports psychologist?
Hey, it wasn't unprovoked, though. You were spinning out that day.
I never heard this. I never heard this story.
You have to have heard this story.
I've never heard this story.
My co-angler told me I needed to see a sports psychologist.
So with that, do you think that the new league, that the new association for the professional anglers, could they provide mental health care?
They won't, but they should.
It definitely should.
It definitely should. If I could sign up for that program, I would.
Alex would be the first person.
I'm a mess. I'm an absolute mess all the time.
Pure Fishing offered therapy. They'd be making a killing. They'd be making more than they make on flatworms.
Maybe we open up people can come on, they can vent themselves, and we charge them $100 an hour.
My mental health and financial literacy are an absolute disaster, and it's because of 12-inch greenfish.
All for a little greenfish. Don't even get to see that many brownfish.
Well, I don't know. If we're talking about the St. Lawrence, I'm assuming that the brownfish gave you more mental health issues. I'd agree.
Yeah, those ones get me. I'm getting decently dialed in on the green ones. The brown ones still scare me.
Well, what's something that the brown ones are really doing? Like, what's something you think you do to get those brown ones a little less spooky? You got anything outside the box you've been thinking of recently to trick those brown ones to get you out of the insane asylum?
I don't know. Here's my thing with the brown ones is I'm like, go to Champlain or St. Lawrence or, name your brown fish location, and I'll go out there and I will not have any problem catching them. I'll catch a billion of them and I'll catch them all day long. But I don't know how I'm supposed to catch 28 pounds of them.
Well, see, when we went to the St. Lawrence, you just had to run 125 miles in one direction to go find them.
The first day of that St. Lawrence tournament, I caught probably 45 fish, and I had 12 and a half pounds.
I did the same thing.
I was
for my
almost
BFL.
in last.
I did the same exact thing when I was up there. But here's the thing. When it was a BFL, and I was having so much darn fun.
I wasn't.
I kind of didn't care.
I wasn't. That was the day my co-angler told me to see a sports psychologist. And he also caught 7 fish all day long. And I caught like 40. And he had 18 and a half pounds.
Which is crazy.
A 2-pounder up there fights as hard as a 4-pounder up there, too. He
made day 3. My co-angler. Yeah.
He has that positive mental attitude.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm but to be totally honest, outside of the St. Lawrence, because the St. Lawrence is just like a completely different like demon, because you got the current and all this weird stuff going on. In terms of like normal smallmouth fishing, I don't really know where I'm at, because I haven't fished a major tournament on a smallmouth dominated body of water in a while that like wasn't the St. Lawrence. So I don't really know. I mean, in terms of just like fun fishing and stuff, I'm at a point where like I crush them pretty good. And in terms of like local smallmouth lakes, in like local buddy tournaments and stuff, I kick butt at those. But I haven't fished like a major tournament at like Oneida or like St. Clair or anything to like even know where I'm at. So I
think it's about spending time up there. I went to Oneida for the first time up there in like 2 years. I used to go there religiously, and I finally had an opportunity to go up there with a buddy of mine. And like, it's so hard to tell. And I think that's the same thing. It's always so tight on these smallmouth fisheries nowadays because the quality and the caliber of the fish, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of buddies of mine, they're good up there. They won it all. They won the Cashin Championship. They set some type of a lake record with like a 27-pound bag in the tournament we were with, and everybody was there. I mean, gosh, we came in with 20 pounds. And we're like, should we just throw them back? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk, you know?
I'd be stoked catching 20.
It's so hard to tell, you know, what you have up there unless you live up there and you spend time up there. And it's such a unique region of the country. And we're just right on the cusp of it because we're at the point where it's like it's too far for a day trip.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you know, close enough to justify a weekend. You know, we don't have, but it's our part of the neck of the woods, but we don't spend a lot of time out there. And because it is a far drive in, you know, things are expensive. It's hard to, you know, get the resources to be up there. But the guys that spend the time up there, they figure out where those 6 pounders live. And I know where they always are.
I mean, I go to Champlain usually at least once a year, and when I go up there, I don't have any problem catching them. I just haven't fished a major tournament out of Plattsburgh in forever. So like I really
fishing a tournament up there.
I know you have, but I haven't. I haven't fished a major tournament out of Plattsburgh in forever. So I mean, I go up there and I crush them when I'm up there by myself, but I don't know how I would actually perform, you know.
It was also my first time ever up there.
Really?
That was the first time I've ever gone to Champlain was for that tournament.
Wow.
Right?
We honestly, like, I mean, I've been up north a fair amount of times, but I definitely have like way more experience south, like in Thai and stuff, which is weird because it's like it's still largemouth fishing. Like it's Champlain, but I would say 75% of my Champlain experience is largemouth fishing because 50% of it is Thai and 25% of it is being up north and still fishing for largemouth anyway.
I've gone a couple of years where if I make it up once a year to Champlain, it's only been Thai, and I haven't even gone to Plattsburgh. Don't even know.
I definitely have way more experience in Thai, which like
is not really relevant for tournaments anymore or worth it.
Yeah, there's a lot of big, you know, local tournaments that go out of Thai though. You know, you have the Cashin series out of there.
I don't know
there's a couple big series out of there.
The way Thai has been fishing, like Thai was on a downswing for a while, and it's definitely like the way Thai has been fishing the past couple of years. I wish it was just like slightly closer. Like if I knew the weather was going to be perfect all 3 days, I would legitimately strongly consider running down to Thai, because if the conditions are right, I'm fairly confident I can catch over 20 pounds every day.
The grass needs to just come in a little bit better in Thai. I feel like it's very I don't know. It wasn't like 5 years ago.
I like how it is right now.
See, I don't.
Right now,
I mean, like not that we haven't smashed them doing how it is now.
I like how it is right now because it's better than it was. Like the good grass is there, but you also get to a point where there's so much of it that it takes so long to figure out like the spot on the spot and like where they are. Like how Thai is right now, like I can just look in the water and look at the grass and tell you if they're there or not before we even take a cast. It's like you find the right stuff, they're there. I know what it looks like. It's in that perfect middle ground, kind of like how the Potomac has been the past few years until this year. This year it's been too much. But past few years coming off of, there was those couple years where there was no grass at all.
Yeah.
And then the grass kind of started to show back up again. And like once you got to that point where the right stuff was there, but it wasn't everywhere, it was like you never even needed to pick up a rod. You just had to look at the grass around your boat and you instantly, like if you knew what you were looking for, you knew what you were looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't even need to take a cast. It's like, oh, there it is. They're here. And it was true 100% of the time. And that's kind of how Thai has been. And I'd like it to stay that way.
Just such a long haul.
Yeah.
It's a far one.
But I mean, guys are cracking,
Oh yeah, bags come out of there constantly.
Over 25 out of there. I mean, a buddy of mine who's from New Jersey, who doesn't even go there a lot, caught a 27-pound bag out of Thai last year.
That was crazy.
So they're there. I mean, I don't think if you're talking like a 3-4 day tournament, I don't think I could catch 27 pounds 3 days in a row, but I think I could catch 20 3 days in a row, which you do that 3 days in a row. And one of those days you catch a 5 and a 6 and you have 23, 24, then, that could do it.
Oh yeah. That's for sure. As long as the wind doesn't kick 20 miles.
Yeah, well, that's the problem is I gotta know that it's gonna be fine.
What do you think they're eating at Thai?
Just because of how what?
Right now. What do you think they're eating at Thai right now? December 14th.
A wax scrub.
I was just gonna say a wax worm on a 9mm.
A 9mm?
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting with the pop?
Yep.
Do you need a license for that?
No.
Jesus. But where were we with this?
A shiner on a tip up.
There you go. Now we're talking.
So
yeah, they might eat that.
I've been tinkering with putting the size up on the hook.
Yeah, that's the bait that he couldn't catch those smallmouth on.
Absolutely not. But you know what the smallmouth are going to bite?
What?
This Weezoo pattern. Tomorrow, they're going to eat the 2-inch Easy Shiner.
You said
no, they're not. But you know what
actual
is?
Size.
They're not going to eat that, but the perch are.
Oh, the perch are going to love it.
The perch are going to eat that real good. Speaking of which, what's your excuse for not showing up to the Derb on Sunday?
Ooh.
Say it publicly now.
Publicly now.
Yep.
I did not show up to the Derb on Sunday because there was not a Derb on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
There was not going to be enough people there. However, I probably would not have been there anyway because I had to do Christmas activities with a person.
Who?
Oh, you're married up there, so like I don't want.
Scared Alex.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to scream into the ether.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. I'm making it up by being a degenerate and going perching tomorrow with the occasional smallmouth.
Big perch on a Tuesday, guy.
I think everything's going into the live tomorrow.
Pickerel too.
Everything's going into the live tomorrow.
Well, the pickerel would be lucky to survive to the live well.
No, the tracker live wells are nice now.
No, I don't mean it has anything
without
to
being
do with
spiked.
The live well. I'm saying in your presence. If they're still alive in the 10 seconds.
Not committed any type of crime. There is no everything that happens in the tracker is humane. I plead the fifth on all other charges. Thank you.
I do
is there a creel limit on pickerel?
Yeah, 7.
7?
I think it's 7, and they have to be 17 inches.
Well, as long as you're meeting
They're
those
an essential part of the ecosystem.
as long as you're not doing it to more than 7 of them, you can
I'm not
do
doing
whatever
any.
you want.
I did not have any type of relations with those pickerel.
No. All right.
However, I'm saying this because sometimes, like when we have the smelt up here, it's so you ever see those little tuna bats?
Yep.
Anyway, so hopefully we get a couple pickerel tomorrow because I eat them. Nothing is wasted.
You ever have pickled pickerel?
That's what I do. It's petrol. It is petrol.
Yeah, pickled pickerel. That's what the guys up at the Sarge up at the cabin used to do.
No,
they're still in there. They're still in his basement. There's jars of pickled.
Oh,
they're still good.
Sitting down. It probably is.
That's the point of pickling. Yeah.
I never tried it. He would buy every time. Oh, come on, just eat it. It's good. No. Nope.
I'm telling you, it's like really like it is good. If you put a little sugar in the mix too, it's like a bread and butter pickle stick.
Yeah, but dude, you're just like those guys. You're a weird you're a
Pennsylvanian.
You dwell beneath the ground like
as he sits in his shed.
One of those
a shop.
One of those like mysterious like I can't even find like you're like it feels like you're kind of still in the revolutionary time period type of guy. Like,
what do you mean? We don't have wood heat. Oh no! Are you still there?
Yeah.
We have propane. You see, we're technologically advanced here.
Yeah.
There's a jig and a wrap in my foot.
Very nice.
How in your foot? Is it Kerr Lake in your foot?
Is it hospital bound foot?
Or is it just kind of in your foot?
It's like kind of there. It's probably going to be, like I could probably get the fish about 10 feet up before it falls off,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm gonna thug this one out.
So it's not Kerr Lake level.
You're not seeing my foot, Alex, if that's the question. There are no feet pics. This is the wrong
I don't want to see your feet. I'm just making sure.
Now, if you guys want to, though, you could hit this link right here. And
there's not going to be a link there.
There should be a link there.
Only Zubris.
Only Zubris. It's crazy. Cut that out. So, what am I catching a fish on tomorrow? What am I tying up?
You're only catching perch tomorrow.
In the Northeast Pennsylvania, no. I'm going out there at the break of dawn to catch a smallmouth.
Depends on where in Northeast Pennsylvania. Are you fishing open water or ice?
I am going open water. The last harv. And then I'm probably going to winterize it after because it's going to be like I'm going to a game on Saturday and is going to actually be 10 degrees. So I think it's over.
What, Penn State game?
Yeah, but no, I think this is the last hurrah tomorrow.
Dang.
So what do I put on
I'm
the
just going to
cricket?
winterize my boat and then use Alex's boat in the winter. So
I should put 5 of what on this tomorrow?
There you go. Jig that up and down.
I should put 5 of what on this?
Wait, time out though. I do have a strict rule. Nobody who has winterized their boat is allowed on my boat while they're
mine's not winterized. It's just it's not going anywhere.
Well, it's the only people allowed on my boat this winter are me and Brendan and Zub.
Damn.
Yay. Yes, he still hasn't gotten a call back from Nitro. Can we get a counter on here that says days since I haven't heard back from Nitro boats?
I mean, we're on close. We got to be close to half a year.
Well, yeah. What was it? July?
Submitted the claim in August.
So 5 months coming up.
She's almost full term.
Yeah, they'll probably get back to you tomorrow.
Nah.
I've been on a 3-week-long email chain with Lawrence.
Little rants for what?
I mean,
that's not Nitro.
I'm burning it all down. I'm burning it all down. I do not care. I only support companies that actually care about me. I've been with a call center with Lawrence for the past 3 weeks.
About
asking me what color is on my active target box to make sure that it works.
What color?
Yeah, like the color.
Is
what
it
color
gray?
lights? Yep.
Oh.
Have you? I've gotten an email that said, "Have you tried restoring defaults?" I get an email every 3 days from them, continuing my conversation.
Someone else joined the chat and they're like, it's set to default. Restore.
Yeah, restarted defaults. So hopefully I get that fixed out, because right now when my transducer hits the bottom turns into the top. It goes in a little circle, goes.
It might still be better than Mega Live, though. I mean, you don't.
I'm not better than Mega Live 2. I'm telling you, they might be onto something there.
Yeah.
no comment.
Listen, if Mega Live sucks, then maybe it'll suck. But I think everybody deserves a chance.
Again, how expensive is that chance you're going to give?
I'm going to wrap my entire opinion on it all in one sentence. I own a Garmin LVS 34 and it works great. Period.
There you go.
Right.
That's it.
I don't know. Mega Live wins AOI. I mean, ties for AOIs. Oh, wait. I did have active target, technically speaking, though.
Huh?
I had active target on the Nitro on the Bay.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
not that it did a thing.
That live scope really matters in, a foot and a half of water when there's about 10 pounds of grass on top of it.
Yeah. To be fair, I want a AOI catching 0 live scope fish.
No.
I didn't win anything this year.
How about we talk about the 2025 New Jersey Nation Trail and what they're doing to us?
All 10 bassmen in New Jersey are going to absolutely love this podcast.
This is we're going to spend 1.5 minutes on this, because this is the most niche of niche topic ever. But they changed the schedule a little bit. I did win my argument with the make it 4 points events and not win and you're in. I mean, it's always been points events for the history of everything, but instead of like,
do we still have a drop then?
I would assume.
That's good.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get the real meat and potatoes and everything until the January meeting, but instead of 4 tournaments on 4 local locations like it is usually, it's back-to-back tournaments at the Bay and then back-to-back tournaments at Cayuga for a total of 4 one-day events.
So silly.
Which, I don't know. I don't have it. It was originally floated as 2 two-day events and win and you're in format.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, I just wouldn't fish it. If that was the case, I straight up would not fish the Bass Nation anymore. But with it being 4 individual points events, I will be fishing it. And I actually don't hate it that much. Like, I just got to show up to both of those events and catch 5 fish every day,
Yeah.
And whatever happens, happens. But what I do like is that we're getting a little bit of a team trail for the first time. Because
I forgot that was.
Yeah, I suggested that to the tournament director at the end of this year, and they actually took my advice, because the Bass Nation, just like the New Jersey Bass Nation, just chooses to not send teams to the Bass Nation Team National Championship when like they could.
Mm-hmm.
So
how many spots do we get to send?
I think it's based on participation, so they don't really know yet.
So probably like 1 or 2, similar to.
But there's going to be 2 tournaments. It's on the Bay, which I believe that tournament is the day after the Ike tournament.
Okay.
So that's what that is going to be. So, back-to-back team tournaments that weekend. And then the other one is in August on the river.
Hey, I like that one.
Yeah. So
personally, we love a good team event.
Those are both going to be very interesting, but I like that part of it a lot. I just don't like that I have to take a trip to Cayuga in the middle of July if I want to.
I think you're the only person to ever possibly say that they don't want to go to Cayuga in the middle of July.
I mean, I want to go, obviously.
Doesn't sound like it, not with that attitude.
Yeah, Cayuga is cool, but
I historically have never had to take off of work or really practice at all for this team trail. I mean, I won, or not team trail for the Bass Nation.
The whole point was it was a Sunday tournament, and they're relatively local. Like the furthest was Bay or Candlewood. For some guys, 3 hours. Some guys, an hour. And
I won Bass Nation Angler of the Year last year without taking a single day off of work.
Yeah. It's
how it should be. How it should be.
You could pre-fish the day before. You could pre-fish the weekend before. Not a problem.
Yeah, because you do them on which was the nice thing that kind of disappears because of this. They put them on Sundays too. So if you want to practice on a Saturday, you can practice somewhere on a Saturday because also they're local. Like for pretty much all of them, you don't even have to like go somewhere and get a hotel for the night. Like you can just drive home and then go there.
That is nice.
Some of them you can dump in the night before if you wanted to. You don't even have to. Yeah. You can dump in Friday night and still get around if you, or you just do. I just didn't pre-fish any of them. That was fine. Worked out well.
Yeah, I mean, I seem to do better when I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but I mean, I'm not going cold turkey to Cayuga.
No.
Like,
let's just make a trip the weekend before.
I'm not gonna do that either.
Yeah, because how far is Cayuga for you guys?
Like 3.5. Somewhere. It depends on where on the lake.
Definitely more than that for me.
You're probably like closer to 4.
I remember the last time I drove there, which I've only been there once, and it was in 2017. But I remember it being further than 4.5.
Damn, that was the last time we were there. Was 17.
No way! It was the last time you were there. Was that tournament?
That's when we met. That's when we met.
The last and only time I've ever been there. That's the only time I've ever been there. I don't know anything about that lake at all.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, that was
not too many secrets out there anymore.
There are two major gaps in my game, and it's Cayuga and Oneida.
I've never even been to Oneida.
I've never been to Oneida. I've never been to Oneida once.
Driven past it, over it, not over, but
I've never been to Oneida once in my life, and the only time I've ever been to Cayuga, I owned my bass boat for less than a year and had absolutely no idea what I was doing.
I think that's the when you do the best.
No, dude, I caught 2 fish.
That was a rough day. I think the only people that caught fish really knew what they were doing that day. Like they actually were like, you know, really seasoned anglers that definitely did just.
Who's that, Zoom?
I don't know.
I heard the only fish that I heard the only guys who caught fish that day caught them in off limits zones.
Oh,
just have to read the rule book because I remember a very famous Kevin Van Dam one time fishing an off limits zone in Cayuga.
No, that would be Greg Hackney.
Well, me and Greg, we have a lot of things going for us right now. We're both probably at a similar level.
Yeah.
All right. That tournament, I caught 5 fish, threw them all back, and caught 5 more fish that tournament from the off limit zone.
That tournament, I ran all the way down to Ithaca.
Which is crazy.
Caught.
Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Yeah. Take a look down there.
I caught 2.5 pound largemouth bass, and then I realized, I maybe should have checked the weather before I did this. It's blowing 30 out of the south. And then I had to turn around and come back the full length of the lake in my 18-foot boat in 30-mile-an-hour winds. And it took me about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I got
That's the other problem with that lake.
Soaking wet. I stuffed a million weight. It was the only time before in my that I was ever actually genuinely afraid for my life in a bass boat. I steered my front unit off and my partner caught it.
Was that Worth you were with that time?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's the only experience I have on Cayuga at all, is running all the way down to Ithaca, catching 2 fish and barely making it back alive. So
yeah, Cayuga's a foreign body of water to me, besides that one weekend.
Yep. That is the first and only time I've ever been there.
You know what I'm sad about that
hopefully
tournament?
this next time will be a little better for you. What's that, Brad?
I think in theory it does set up in a way that's good for it. It is my kind of fishing in theory, but like I should catch them there. But I don't know.
Deep grass. We'll find out. Where that Adrian team won the tournament, I drove past that spot, and I had like not really found much else that I loved. And it was like the last day, and I was like, if I don't find anything else, I'm going to start there. And I was like, it looks good. I didn't have time to fish it. Like the sun was setting. I just kind of like drove through it. And then we found one more spot like later or like the next morning or something like that. And sure enough, that's where the Adrian team won. First thing in the morning.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's not where they won.
That is definitely where they won.
That's not where they won.
Up north.
Not in the grass you're talking about. All the grass is up north. Up north is like a 10 square mile area.
Now, I don't know.
They won.
Zub, we all know
where they won.
We're going to have
I know where they won. I know where they won.
Zub,
everybody knows where they won.
were. And Brennan,
I
also drove past that spot in practice multiple times. And actually, I had the opposite thought process of that was about the only thing I didn't fish because I was like, this looks like shit.
Really? I saw it and I thought it looked great.
No, I drove past it like 3 times and I never even considered fishing it.
Really?
But Zub, is that always good?
What the cameras?
I'm cut. I look, the Brennan saying where it was is already cut out. So you don't have to say where it was. Just answer.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're fishing it now.
You're both going to get the same answer to this. No, it's not.
No.
Because I went the wrong time of the year last year.
Now I'm going to have to cut it again. Why'd you say even that?
I went up to Cayuga at the wrong time of the year.
Okay.
Cut.
And I went up and I fished. No, I went up and I fished Cayuga Lake a little earlier this year, and everything wasn't developed. You think your nation's schedule gets weird? I got told 2 days before a tournament, hey, the tournament that decides all of the points this year is going to be a Thursday instead of a Friday. Get up here if you can. Good luck.
That's so rude. So you guys are doing one tournament?
So I left my house at because I planned on taking a day. No, it was on Friday because the tournament's usually normally on Saturday. And I took Friday off of work. I was on a job site in like Pittsburgh, and I had to drive to Scranton to get the boat. Long story short, I left my job at 5 o'clock, a little early, and I didn't sleep and got to Cayuga at 3:30 to do tackle by the time it was all said and done. And then I told myself, okay, hopefully this area is developed. I have a couple areas that should develop.
Mm-hmm.
It was because it was going to blow a little bit too. The reason they moved the derb is because it was going to blow 30 out of the south.
Nice.
And that's how you die out there.
Yeah.
As it
familiar.
And if it doesn't look good, like if it genuinely doesn't look good, they're not there.
Mm-hmm.
That depends. Like there's fish there, don't get me wrong. But the right fish, you're not going to catch the right fish out there.
Yeah.
I caught 3 in that general area, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go fly around, and I couldn't develop anything else.
I wonder though, in a NJ Bass Nation tournament of guys who like usually don't go there often, like what
I
is
can't imagine many
the
guys
right
go there.
fish gonna be? Like what
The right fish is you're still gonna need 20 pounds because you can go to a community
Oh,
out
yeah,
there with
yeah,
a
duh.
absolute no idea, a beer in one hand, a cigarette in the other, and just be on the right drift. You catch 20 to 22 pounds.
No, I know I'm gonna need 20. I'm just saying, am I gonna need 21 or am I gonna need 28?
No, you're gonna need probably between 20 and 24. And I know that's a big range, but you're not gonna need to crack a 30 bagger. But you could randomly stumble into, a 23, 24 pound bag out there.
Oh yeah.
If you want to come to the ramp and say, I did my job, you have over 20.
That's my plan.
Coming back. You know what my plan is? Tomorrow? I found it. New zoo bait of the week. Mini.
Oh, jeez.
Huddleston.
Oh. Kind of like that.
It is
the tail looks big on the body.
It is a 3.7 inch bait. Has a little slow drag going around. You're cutting this entire thing out. I see it, Al. You're just blooping this whole thing out.
No.
I have a whole pack of them here.
Okay.
As he covers the...
And I think they're all going to go on this.
All right. And
it killed it. And it's gone. And it's gone.
That's where you lose me.
And it's gone.
It's so over.
Zoop's catching 3 perch.
No, I'm actually going to put this on probably a... I have a size down of this. It's a little football head.
I'm back in.
You're back in. And I'm going to go... This actually... I don't hate that. Do you hate that, Al? Oh,
no.
That's gone.
I like it a lot.
And just dragging that tail is just going to go...
I actually, while we're talking swim baits, I have a question for you because somebody brought up a bait to me the other day, like casually, like as if it's something that everybody knows about, like it was like a Senko.
Right.
Like they were like, oh yeah, you could be like everybody else and catch them on a blank. And I had never heard of this bait in my life. And I want to know if you guys know what this bait is.
We got
an all-American trash fish.
Oh, yeah, the trash fish. That's not that's niche. No, I'm serious. The trash fish is a really niche bait. I actually might have it.
It's a swim bait. It's like a 6-inch swim bait.
Yeah, it's not an osprey. It's do you know what an osprey is?
Baby trash.
Yeah, the trash fish is a wedge tail bait. That's a trash fish is a West Coast bait.
It's this.
The little creeper.
Yeah. No, it's a wedge tail bait. Yeah.
It's not really a wedge tail. That top fin doesn't really do anything. It's like a boot tail.
Well, that tail acts
thin,
like a wedge.
It's like a thin boot tail. It's weird.
I consider that a wedge. I consider that a wedge tail. I consider that tail closer to this and the action on it. That's a really, really who says that? Whoever said that watched a single tactical bassin video because they mentioned it on there, and that's where I learned about it.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I watched tactical bassin. I've never heard of it before, and they brought it up like they were talking about a Senko. They're like, oh so yeah, just you could roll around any swim bait, like a trash fish or whatever. And I was like, a what?
A trash fish was the mag draft before the mag draft.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks just
that's
like
what I looked it up, and it was like a 6-inch swim bait, and like I was like, what?
Like, I don't know. We don't have the right forage base for that by us. I kind of do because I fish a lot of trout lakes. But even then,
it looks like a kind of like a shiner.
They always eat it, but like you're not just going to go around and catch them on the trash fish.
This guy was talking about the trash fish like it was like a spinner bait. or a chatterbait or a Senko or a jig, just like another thing that like you just catch fish on all the time.
You just
like,
always have on your deck sitting there.
Yeah, like I was
pick
like,
up the trash.
I was like, what?
Is it the new Yoser?
I never heard of it.
Bait.
It's gonna be the new knuckleball. I'm gonna have that on my deck.
And you
tournament morning.
Stop bringing up everything that I have.
Naturally based on like
I keep it on me.
Oh, please, bro.
Hide it. Cut it.
But anyway, as I was saying, naturally based on that 10-minute conversation with somebody I barely know that I don't even know if they're a good fisherman or not, I bought like 10 packs of them.
You did not
say you had them.
No, you didn't. You bought 10 packs of trash fish?
I did. This is what I'm saying when I tell you the fishing industry is done when they lose me.
Who told you to buy that to get you to buy 10 packs? Gosh, Berkeley needs to give them $1 jillion.
I told you.
Who told you to
I
do it?
wasn't
Jeremy
kidding. Wave? The day they lose me, the whole fishing industry is crumbling. Because you have to mention
You're cooked.
You have to mention that you caught one bass on something once, and I will buy 10 of them.
Gotta have extras, I mean.
Well, because then I go on, and it's like, you can't buy one of anything, because if you buy one, you buy none. So I'm going to get 2, right? But then it's like, what if they don't like this color? What about this color? And it's like, well, I want one a little flashier, too. And then I want one a little more subtle, too. And, this one is kind of right in the middle. It seems like the most so I'll get 3 of those and I'll get 2 of these, and these. And then you have 10, just like that.
Some of these and
just like that. You have
these.
10. When are you going to throw it? Where's your first spot you're going to throw it next year?
I'm never going to throw it.
You're never going to throw it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm never going to throw it ever. Not once. I'm never going to throw it.
They would have ate that. You know where you should have the trash fish?
I do that 20 times a year. 20 times a year, I will buy 10 baits that I never will throw.
You just lost a quarter mile an hour on the Skeeter now.
You know where they would have ate the trash fish in all reality?
Where?
Okie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know that now. Thanks to Whispering Wind. But
did Whispering Wind tell you to get the trash fish?
No, Whispering Wind told me to throw an 8-inch mag draft.
Not bad idea.
He was way more specific than that. But on the off chance I ever have to go to Grand Lake, Oklahoma for a national championship again, I'm going to keep it close to the chest.
Cat, how are we liking Swimmer on the bottom tomorrow?
I think she'll eat it.
I kind of like it.
You're just going to go to that nice little
stretch. That's the wintertime tail.
That is the wintertime tail. A tail of 2 smallmouth. I am actually going to put 5 Crush City freeloaders on this right now for the chat.
Don't right back. Please don't do that. I'm gonna air them out. I'm just now noticing that there's a chat feature in this that Zub has been typing in this whole time that I haven't noticed the existence of until right now. He's been trying to tell me to do things.
I just see the one comment. Watch your mouth out.
Yeah, I dropped the F-bomb like 2 seconds into the podcast. But, I don't know. It's 2024. I don't care. Like,
it's fine. You can bleep it out if you want. Where's Zoop going? It's not even like you're in a shed. How is he out of view?
It's also an hour and 23 minutes. I was getting ready to like wrap it up, and then he just dipped.
Gets up, walks out. Should we just cut it here? Let him.
I mean, I wanted to give him a chance to at least get his outro in, but
I'm back. Don't worry.
Ah, there you are.
There he is.
I had one more thing to bring up.
What?
For the next pod, I'm gonna give a review on this. Because I have no idea if it's gonna be good or not.
That's actually the number one topic I wanted to talk about today that we didn't even get into.
Well, we could start. We only got it. We have another hour we can do.
We could just lead it into next week.
Well, then what's our what do you want to talk about, Al?
Are you? I was gonna talk about our line debate that I have with everybody in the world.
Well, then get her go.
Are you really putting freeloaders on that?
No, I'm putting Mooch Minnows on it.
This kid's a menace.
If I watch you load up an Alabama rig with Mooch Minnows, the podcast is over. I'm glad you celebrated 3 episodes because it's over.
As he so carefully threads it on there.
And he's doing it. All right, so
we'll bring it up next week.
Yeah, I'm going to end the podcast on that and end the podcast forever on that. Okay. Yep. Nope.